Catamarans. Kent is owner of Just Catamarans, and I'm a partner in the brokerage. We sell ultra-rare catamarans, only new boat, and we have a small brokerage business. Just Catamarans is the largest repair, upgrade, and restoration, renovation business, catamaran business anywhere in the world. We see more boats of different makes. You can't jump in and smack me than anybody. We've got every brand you see, we've probably had our hands on, if not me, usually not me, but we have a large repair staff, and we're in Dania Beach and Harbor Town Marina. Enough of the commercial stuff. We don't have a projector display. What we do is we talk about with you. We will answer questions and talk about anything you want to talk about. If you're an owner, you want to talk about a lightning strike, we can't tell you what to do and how to get home, but maybe we can. But we can tell you what to look for in the boats, the repair yard. We've done lots of lightning strikes. We've got boats that have been run aground, dagger boards, keels knocked off. You name it, we've had our hands on it. Probably every brand from South Africa to France to China to wherever, Vietnamese. I mean, they're boats built in South America, and we don't really, we're not doing this as a commercial thing. We're here to try to, rather than show you stuff, answer questions you might have. What do I need? I'm going to sail this way. I have a problem. What do I do about that? We don't want to be too specific, but. And this is our first time doing this. They asked us to talk because, as I said, we have our hands on a lot of catamarans. I own a Nutrien 55 plate. It's an old version. It's got a little bubble top, long and narrow and fast. Ken's had a few boats in his life. We started with monohulls. So basically what we like to do is try to answer some questions. If it goes somewhere, it will go somewhere. Yeah. Anybody want to have anything they want to talk about this? I mean, to show you pictures, we could have done that. We usually get lightning strike boats. How many a year? 7 boats a year coming to the yard. They've been fried by lightning.
Does the little scrubber thing up on the top of the mast do anything in your opinion?
Like the diffuser.
Yeah, the little wire brush.
Yeah, we've got pictures. It's a pity actually we didn't know that this was all here. Otherwise we would get pictures. But we got pictures of diffusers and the lightning's hitting the antenna right next to the diffuser.
I had one of those things that hit
the diffuser. Yeah.
So refuse to let them wash.
Yeah.
Put it on the next match.
You know, it boils down to, you know, you can't prove whether it's making lightning avoid hitting the boat. Maybe it does. You know, the diffuser is meant to diffuse all the static off the boat, and whatever it is. You know, they say lightning starts from the boat and heads up to the sky, and the diffuser diffuses that energy that the boat's brought up. But the best protection for lightning, in our opinion, is good insurance.
We have a joke. Lightning damage spells money.
Yeah.
We repair them. My personal boat has been hit by lightning last year. The damage fried basically. It was not even a direct hit. Proximity strike. All the electronics were fried. Charging system. You name it, fried. No, I've been hit on a monohull when I was much younger. I was on a wooden sloop next to a 120-foot steel trading ship in Rhode Island, Harbor Refuge. Lightning found us. Antenna was blown away, everything else was fine. We were unhappy, but no one was hurt.
Yeah.
The biggest issue is, if you see it, try to get away from it.
Yeah.
And have good insurance.
Does it help with your portable electronics and the microwave or the oven?
Yeah, you can do all that. Yeah, it'll definitely help. But it's difficult to get an E120 in the microwave. But yeah, it does help because it's a Faraday cage. And lightning, you know, is very highly selective. You know, we've had catamarans at anchor, and the shorter mast gets hit before the tall mast. So just because you've got the shorter mast doesn't mean you're going to be spared. You know, most of the boats have been at anchor or on the dock. Very, very few boats while you're sailing. Extremely few boats. And I think if you ask a cross-section of people who have been struck, most of the boats are when you're grounded at anchor or you know, you're on the dock.
We
Yeah.
of New York.
Yeah, and it's the same as a monohull. Monohull is grounded through the keel, so you probably get less latent damage. But there's going to be damage. Some of it is as little as maybe $30,000, and we've had boats to $250,000, $300,000. And that is the carbon mast. Who's got a carbon mast?
Anybody with a carbon mast?
No. So the carbon mast can delaminate with high voltage. So, and just the mast alone is $150,000. So good insurance is good life protection.
Anything you look for in your insurance policy? Do they try to get out of that? Like flood insurance in your house?
We're not an insurance
What's the
business.
depreciation clause?
There are two types of insurance, basically two types, and it has to do with, one is called typically, and they may call it different, a yacht policy, which means I have a VHF radio, they replace it even if it's 10 years old at whatever the cost of a new equivalent model is. Then there are typically a depreciation policy which will cost you a little less money. A sail depreciates 20% a year, a radio 18% a year. I mean, they have a variety of different levels. If you're buying insurance, you have to decide what's valuable to you. You pay $2,000 more a year and get replacement. My boat had a replacement policy, a yacht policy. I had a RL70 Raytheon radar. My boat's a 97 boat. How old is the radar? 10 years, 12 years. I have a new Raymarine E90. They replaced it. They didn't appreciate it. My insurance difference in cost is probably $2,000 to $3,000 a year. To me, penny wise, pound foolish. If you've got a couple $100,000 or more invested in the boat. I mean, Ken said small insurance damage on a lightning strike, $30,000 up to $250,000. Look at the price of things today. I'm very big on paying for insurance. In my younger years, I didn't always. I suffered, not on boats. So that's it's something. It's a real balance. And if you have a 10-year-old boat, they'll still give you a yacht replacement policy. Once they get about 14, 15 years, like my boat is, they try to talk you out of it, and some companies won't write a policy. So that's. I'm a firm believer in getting the best policy you can, whether it's $1,000 more, $2,000 more, and I know everybody's hard to come by today, but one lightning strike. There's one other conversation about lightning. I have fiber rigging as opposed to stainless steel wire shrouds. The manufacturers of those have a life expectancy in print, most of them are 4 years. Wire is something like 8 to 10 years, I think. If I was an insurance company and I had a fiber rig boat like mine, I have a aluminum mast, but I have fiber rig, and I had a hit, and I hadn't replaced my rig in 4 years, or I lost the mast and hadn't replaced it pursuant to the manufacturer's suggestions, I wouldn't pay. I haven't had that. If you look at a boat with fiber rig, they basically have a 4-year cycle. Be prepared, you replace it with wire, be prepared. You're replacing that rig to protect your insurance policy in 4 years. I just replaced it after a 1-year-old rig on my own boat after a lightning proximity strike because the manufacturer can't say the rig is good. There's no way to test it except destructive. So those are the kinds of things. Carried a step further, if you've been hit, lucky enough to be hit by lightning, you get the boat to the boat yard and do your repair. Make sure that not only do you have their surveyor, the insurance company's surveyor, get a guy like Kent and his company to follow up on what's going on. Because sometimes things fail 6 months later. And it's real hard to go back, of course.
Yeah, a lot of insurance, not a lot, but a select part of insurance companies will say you need to test the equipment and then have it repaired, either by Raymarine or someone, B&G. And 60% of those boats that we've redone, we have latent failures. So 6 months down the line, we'll get a call saying, "Oh, my radar's failed, my depth sounder's failed," and then the insurance has already signed off, you've signed off, and you're stuck with the rebuilt unit that's got a 100-day warranty, as opposed to buying a new unit from Dale over there at Westbury, and you know you get the full warranty. So you just got to be very careful. Just be careful of your clauses. Like Boat US is very good. Pantanius-based insurance, very good. So there's a whole bunch of really good ones. But just quiz your insurance provider.
Let me add one thing. A lot of insurance companies will insure you based on your resume and sailing experience. So you may not be able to get certain companies to give you a policy. You know, the brokerage firms who sell insurance are pretty good. We're not in that business, but by and large, if you got a broker just like home insurance, they'll shop for you. I have personal experience with Boat US. They won't insure me once I left the United States with my boat. They won't insure transatlantic, stuff like that. But when I lost my rig overboard off Montauk, 24 hours later, I'm not a salesman to them. The adjuster was there, and they adjusted. They were absolutely great. And your experience is with a number of